all the way to the Big 12 tournament final before falling to the Mountaineers from West Virginia. But this is a team coached by Eric Bell that has been in this position there for. They're making their 7th straight NCAA tournament appearance, only one of 14 programs across the nation to boast that statistic. And this year, TCU believes they have the squad that could really make a deep tournament run after falling in the Sweet 16 a season ago. And there you see Messiah Bright, the grad senior out of Dallas, Texas, really is the heart and soul of this TCU offense. 11 goals through 22 games for Bright. And she's one of those players who can make a defense work for 90 minutes. Expect her to take a bulk of the shots for the Horned Frogs today. 32 shots on goal for Bright. And she leads a TCU offense that has been outscoring their opposition 46-17 on the season. I know it's strange right now. I'm trying to figure out how to flow it. Sure. There's a look at the conditions that both teams will be dealing with today. You can see Florey is still pouring down here at Alumni Stadium, and the wind as well, making for what will be an extremely chilly afternoon. There's a look at the Golden Dome here on Notre Dame's campus. And these were the scenes from earlier this morning. We mentioned game time pushed back an hour today in order for time to allow the grounds crew to get out and clear Alumni Stadium. And they did a fantastic job on that part, giving the players a position to come out and play soccer in one of the most unusual environments you'll see across the country, as it'll be Michigan State in the green jerseys going up against TCU. They'll be in the white. Michigan State to kick it off. And we're underway from Alumni Stadium. Number 5 seed TCU, number 4 seed Michigan State. TCU coming out with the same starting lineup they had in the first round against UTSA. Meanwhile, for Michigan State, a lot of the same players that started that first round matchup. A few notable changes, one of them being Emerson Sargent, a freshman on this Spartans team that was named to the Big Ten All-Freshman team. She hadn't played since back in the first round of the Big Ten tournament due to injuries, but now healthy and ready to go for a Michigan State Spartan team that is making their first NCAA tournament appearance since 2009. That was 13 years ago. As we get a look at the goalkeeper of TCU, Lauren Kellett. Kellett in her junior season, a first-team All-Big 12 selection. Produced 9 solo shutouts on the season. That's tied for 24th nationally. First touch for Bright. Dishes it over to Hubbard. And now TCU wants to work in their offensive zone. Deflected away by Samantha White, one of the most experienced defenders on this Michigan State back line. Samantha White, 31 in the green, is the all-time program leader at MSU in games started. This will be her 90th start today, as she's now in her 5th season with the Spartans. TCU working in the middle third of the field now. These are two teams that match up extremely well with one another, as Hubbard has now entered the offensive zone. She gives a touch to Cameron Lancaster, who rips a shot and has a score. TCU strikes first in this one. What a start for the Horned Frogs. You see Hubbard matched up against two defenders, goes towards the left of White, in the hands of Lancaster, and just outside that 18-yard line, Lancaster leans on that left foot and able to find the lower 90 of that right post. And the Horned Frogs are off and running. What a spectacular finish from Lancaster. And that's quite the start that Eric Bell was hoping his team would get off to today. And now Michigan State is on the counterattack. That was a touch from Jordan Wickus, but she was met by a trio of Horned Frog defenders on Michigan State's lone attack of the match so far. And now Messiah Bright has some room to run. She's up against Samantha White, nears the box, goes towards the goal line, and has it kicked away. That was Bria Scrotenboer on coverage of Messiah White. And now TCU has their first corner kick of the afternoon. This is a TCU team that is no stranger to corner kicks. They lead the nation in corner kicks per game, averaging just over 8 a match. That one was able to be cleared by the Michigan State defense. And now Shaylin Hubbard flicks it over in search of A.J. Hennessy. Hennessy back towards the box, has it intercepted and kicked away by White. So far, TCU really controlling the possession battle well against the Spartans. There's Cameron Lancaster, already 1 goal on the afternoon as she sends it towards the box in search of Gracie Bryan, has it headed away by Scrotenboer. TCU, again, in the offensive territory. And now Michigan State has a chance to run with Sargent. Sargent, freshman forward from Heartland, Michigan, is tripped up just before the box. Looks like the foul will be against Oli Pena. So Michigan State has an opportunity here with a free kick. Near side, just north of that 18-yard line, is kicked towards the center, headed away, and ends up in the hands of Kellett. What a season it's been for Michigan State. 17 wins for second-year head coach Jeff Hostler. This is a Michigan State team that clinched their first ever outright regular season Big Ten title. They did so by going undefeated in conference play with a record of 9-0-1. And then in the tournament final, they were the #1 seed, advanced all the way to the finale, but fell to the Nittany Lions of Penn State. But really a spectacular season for the Spartans as a whole. They're currently ranked #6 in the country by U.S. Soccer Coaches Poll. That last ranking back on October 30th. And now they're in the box and want to run. Shot is taken, it's tipped away, and ends up in the snowbank just wide of that post. Corner kick due up for the Spartans. It'll be Ruby Diodati to take it. Diodati, having a spectacular season, was named Big Ten Defender of the Year, coming off 4 years at Colgate, and has been an impact transfer for the Spartans this season. This one is towards the front of the post. It's headed, and it'll be cleaned up by Kellett. Not much of a threat to the back line of TCU on that attempt. Lauren Kellett, the junior out of Coppell, Texas, was named Big 12 Goalkeeper of the Year last season. That was a year in which she set the school record with 10 solo shutouts, trying to build on that this year, and has done so pretty well, living up to last season's expectations. Has produced 9 shutouts, was named first team All Big 12. So far, her back line has been doing a solid job today, keeping Michigan State out of the offensive zone, and that'll be an easy save made by Kellett. Not too much work on that one. Justina Gaynor gets a touch. Easy pass made over to DeBow. Lauren DeBow, one of those forwards that TCU has their eyes on today. The Big Ten Forward of the Year. She leads this Spartan squad with 11 goals on the season. And that Big Ten Forward of the Year award, the first ever by a Spartan in the history of this program. And DeBow definitely one of those players across the Big Ten you got to watch out for, and TCU knows that in this matchup. As DeBow looks towards the bottom of the box, has White, who sends it, has it headed away by Hubbard. Michigan State is still playing around, and that header is tipped towards the top right of that post. Kellett had to get his hand on it just to make sure it didn't end up in the back of the net, but it looks like it would have been wide regardless. And now Michigan State starting to get a little bit of advantage back in that possession battle after TCU was really dominating what felt like for the first 5 minutes of today's matchup. We were able to get a quick goal via Cam Lancaster. As that corner kick hangs up in the air due to the wind, it's trickling around the box, and it's kicked and cleared by Hubbard. Michigan State coming off a first-round matchup where they defeated Milwaukee 3-2. It took a double overtime thrilling goal from Cameron Evans in the 105th minute to end up sneaking by Milwaukee and avoiding the first-round upset. As the flag comes up, Michigan State now has another free kick due up. They're starting to put the pressure on the Horned Frogs. Still no good shots on the day for Michigan State. One shot on goal. That was saved easily by Kellett. But in that first-round matchup, Michigan State really had the upper hand despite the score being so close at the end of it. They outshot Milwaukee 30-6 overall and then 15-4 in terms of shots on goal. They didn't allow a single corner kick from Milwaukee. Meanwhile, Michigan State produced 6 to their own. So really was a dominant offensive performance for Michigan State, even though they allowed those 2 goals and needed 105 minutes to end up coming victorious. That one is a line drive sent low. It's played back towards the box by Samantha White. Meanwhile, for TCU in that first round matchup against UTSA, it was a 3-1 victory, but it was close until the end as well. They scored 2 goals in the final 8 minutes to put away UTSA. And again, like Michigan State, it was a contest where TCU really controlled the possession battle, really dominated offensively for the most part in every statistical category. But it took a game winner from Brenna Brosam in the 82nd minute to end up being the deciding factor in that one. Cameron Lancaster added another goal in the 84th minute. And both coaches spoke about how that first round of the tournament, no matter who you play, it's a tough one. And they're just happy to survive and advance against 2 teams that were really scrappy, gave them 90 minutes, and in the case of Michigan State, 105 minutes of pure chaos. Through ball towards the far side of the field. Reagan Cox giving chase. Able to keep it in play, but it will end up crossing that touchline. You see the lines of the field today outlined in orange, making it a little bit easier for everyone up here to get a look at the field as the snow continues to pour down this afternoon. And snow still pretty much expected to play a factor the rest of the day.
Corner kick for the Spartans, taking kick number 16, Ruby Diodati.
Diodati with the corner kick. She's got 6 teammates in the box, sends a low line drive that sneaks by everybody. You can see a look at how TCU has fared in recent NCAA tournaments. 5 wins, 5 losses, and 2 ties along the way. We mentioned this is a TCU women's soccer program that's making their 7th straight NCAA appearance, and that really speaks volumes to what head coach Eric Bell has done now in his 11th season with the program. In his 5th season, he took TCU to its first ever NCAA tournament berth, and since then they haven't missed a tournament, and they're looking to make a deep run in this one after reaching the Sweet 16 a season ago, and then the year prior going all the way to the Elite 8 before falling in a 1-goal matchup to the Cavaliers from UVA. So this is a TCU team that has been experienced when it comes to the later rounds of the tournament. TCU, a bit of a stranger to cold weather, coming from Fort Worth, Texas, and they're composed of a roster made up of 16 girls hailing from the state of Texas as well. Meanwhile, Michigan State made up of 19 players from Michigan, and this isn't their first time playing postseason soccer in South Bend either. For Michigan State, 8 in their 8 NCAA tournament matches, 5 of them have actually been played in South Bend. They played in the first and second round back in 2005 and 2008, won those first round matches, and then lost the next match to Notre Dame. It's only Michigan State third ever second round appearance. They've never made it past the second round, but this isn't your normal Michigan State team. They come in with 17 wins on the season. And you truly can see what Jeff Hostler has done in the short amount of time he's been with this Michigan State program. Led Michigan State to a first place finish in the Big Ten this season, led him to a 4th place finish a season ago. And then you look at the years prior before Hostler came into town, 13th, 14th, 12th, and 10th were the finishes in those years for the Spartans. So just a complete program transformer Hostler has been, as Kellett has to make a run out of her safety net, is able to corral it. Battle for possession in midfield, and you hear the whistle as Michigan State will take over. And they'll send just about their entire team into the offensive territory. There's Justina Gaynor, gives it off to Cameron Evans, now back to Gaynor. Good pass is made towards Cox, but Cox unable to pull it in. So far today for Kozel in goal. Hasn't yet made a save. Had that one shot on goal from Lancaster that snuck by her. Besides that, TCU unable to fire off any shots in the direction of Kozel. Through ball from Diodati. Unable to find any of her teammates. Instead, TCU takes it. AJ Hennessy loses it as Reagan Cox takes it away. That'll be cleared into the snowbanks. You see a lot of bench players right now getting warm on the sideline, just trying to keep the energy up. Dressed in big coats, really trying to do their best to stay warm in these freezing temperatures South Bend is producing today. Temperature right now sitting at about 24 degrees with the wind chill. It'll only feel like 10. Messiah Bright battling for possession. Looks like she did in fact win it for TCU. Just over 20 minutes into this first half, TCU, 1-goal advantage over the Spartans. Michigan State looking to move. Emerson Sargent with the ball gives it off to Cox. And really, TCU's defense stifling all of these attacks from Michigan State they've seen in this first half. And this is a TCU backline that the key has been consistency all season long, and really it's been consistency ever since Eric Bell took over this TCU program 11 seasons ago. 11 shutouts produced on the year for the Horned Frogs defense, 6 of which came in conference play against Big 12 opponents. And you look at the history, defense has been the top priority for TCU. They've held opponents to 1 or no goals in 118 of the last 152 matches they've played in. Ball is lofted in search of DeBow. Or DeBow quiet so far today, but expect that to change as he rifles one towards the box. It's kicked away by Hubbard. Pass is intercepted by A.J. Hennessy. There's Cameron Evans battling for possession. Evans with that game winner in the first round the other day. Not to mention Cameron Evans. We talked about Samantha White's experience, and Samantha White making her 90th start today. Cameron Evans, she's right behind her, making her 84th start today in the Spartan jersey. Has now played in a total of 89 career games for MSU through her 5 seasons. And this year really has been her best. She's tied for second on the team with 18 points, 8 goals, and 2 assists. The senior from Fenton, Michigan. Really one of those leaders that Coach Hostler has asked to step up and lead Michigan State to a deep tournament run. TCU pretty quiet offensively since that goal came. Only a few minutes into the opening matchup. As Lancaster, slow to get up. Was tripped on that last play by Samantha White. So TCU, following that foul, will be taken over. Let's see one more time. White hustling for the ball, but just gets tangled up with Lancaster, and Lancaster ends up on the turf. She'll get the benefit of the doubt. Lancaster, only a sophomore, but has really seen an uptick in minutes this season and has become one of the prominent forwards on the TCU attack, as that one is sent towards the far end of the box in search of Sargent. She's able to keep it in play. Sargent now double teamed by Hennessy and Riley. Good move from Jordan Wickus. That one slides by a defender. It ends up with a potential shot from Michigan State, but it's deflected away. Justina Gaynor was trying to fire off that shot. Couldn't do quite that with Peyton Cruz. Able to make her think twice about that one. Pass is intercepted, and now the Spartans have an opportunity. Jordan Wickus with the ball, dishes it off. It's taken towards the goal, and it's gloved easily by Kellett. You can see the shot battle so far. Michigan State has been winning it with TCU. The difference in this one with the lone shot they've taken, a big one from Lancaster. White tries to chip it, was looking for Cameron Evans, had it kicked away by Peyton Cruz. This TCU back line now starting to face some pressure from the Spartans. TCU in a 4-3-3 formation. Whistle comes as A.J. Hennessy was the player down for TCU. A.J. Hennessy, really one of the premier freshmen that TCU has had all season long to rely on. She's really seen an uptick in minutes as the season has gone on as well. Has started the last 4 matches for the Horned Frogs, and in all 4 of those matches has totaled more than 45 minutes of play. As now TCU has a chance. Lancaster leaves it, and that is blocked beautifully. Conversation with the official taking place. Looks like no foul will be coming. Instead, the Horned Frogs will have their 3rd corner kick of the afternoon. And we'll also see our first substitution of the day, as Hennessy will check out and Kennedy Clounce will check in her place. Kennedy Clounce, a member of the Big 12 all-freshman team as well for TCU. 2 goals and 3 assists for Clounce as she sends a screamer towards the box. It's cleared away. TCU still unable to get a shot off since the early minutes of this one. Clounce looks to play it through. And Samantha White had it read like a book. We mentioned this is a TCU team this year that won 13 victories and reached the Big 12 finals. Finished second place regular season in the Big 12 behind Texas. And in the postseason, they cleaned up the Big 12 selections, had 6 All-Big 12 selections, and then also added 4 freshmen who landed on the Big 12 All-Freshman team. Kennedy Clount's one of those players. Now Lancaster wants to run, has a lot of defenders to deal with. She'll dish it off to Gracie Bryan. Bryan goes towards the far side of the field, leaves it for Clounts. Clounts working up against Reagan Cox. Attempts to go through the feet of Reagan Cox and fires off a shot, and it'll be saved easily by Kozel, her first save of the afternoon. Race towards the ball, and a big collision leaves a Michigan State player down. That's Jordan Wickus. As the ball trickles out of play, looks like a corner kick will be coming for Sparty. Wickus quick to her feet. And now Michigan State wants to threaten here. They've already had 4 corner kicks today. So far, nothing to show for it. 7 Spartan jerseys in the box. That one is low. Shot is taken, and it ends up another beautiful save made pretty easily by Lauren Kellett. Every shot Michigan State has fired off has been pretty much right in the direction of Kellett. Hasn't had to make anything overly spectacular yet to keep Michigan State scoreless. Does have 3 saves, though, and they've been key today. This is a TCU team that only allowed 17 goals through the 22 matches they played so far this season. Michigan State, pretty similar number, allowing a little bit less at 14 goals through 22 matches. But you can see the style of play really matching up almost perfectly between these two teams that are very complementary to one another. Free kick from the Spartans is waved off. Looks like the ball might have moved a little bit from the original spot made by the referee, so we'll do it again. Scrotenbohr will just kick it easily over to her teammate Reagan Cox. Michigan State really controlling the possession battle for about the last 20 minutes in this first half. It's a good hustle from Reagan Cox, but it'll stick with the Horned Frogs. Reagan Cox, now in her senior year with the Spartans, was named to the All-Big Ten second team, and she's been such a dominant individual defender all season long. Really a crucial piece to the success of this Spartan back line. And this is a Spartan defense with experience all over the place. You look at Reagan Cox, you look at Samantha White, and then of course Kozel in goal, listed as a redshirt senior, but really one of the most storied goalkeepers in the history of the Big Ten with all the awards she's brought in over the past 2 years. throw in from Michigan State. They want to move. See if they can catch TCU off guard. Sticking in that far side of the field. Jordan Wickus with possession is battling up against Megan Riley. Lauren DeBow has it. Her pass nearly taken away by Gracie Bryan. Instead, Sparty still has possession, but this time it'll be given away to Hubbard, and she's able to give her team a quick break. And you can see that stat right there. TCU 11 wins this season. They've only dropped one contest when they've been the team to score first. Again, one of those teams with such a good back line. When they're able to get up, it's difficult for the opposing team to claw their way back. But Michigan State has been pressuring as of late. But another great defensive effort. That time it's Oli Pena, the midfielder, and she'll win the battle for her team. Just under 6 minutes left in this first half. TCU still holding on to that 1-zip lead, as there is an all-out battle in the middle third right now, and it'll be won. Another hustle play is awarded towards the Horned Frogs. It feels like they've really been winning all those minor possession battles so far today, and things like that go a long way in building confidence, especially in a gritty game like this. You look at the outside weather, plays a factor in the emotions of your team. When you're able to win small battles like that, they go a long way. Kick is sent skying towards the far side of the field. It's headed away by Cox. TCU will keep it. You see the temperature listed at 24, and for those players down in the field, it's definitely feeling a lot less than 24 with the wind chill nearing the single digits. Snow still flurrying around here at Alumni Stadium. Substitution for the Spartans. Abby Gardner comes on to give Cameron Evans a quick rest with just under 5 minutes left in the first. Kick is chipped up ahead. It's being chased down by Mia Hansen. She's able to get to it, but TCU is there to clear it. And that's been the story all day long on these attacks we've seen from the Spartans, as this time they're moving quick. Hansen off the bench has it. Shot is taken from DeBow towards that left post. It's saved once again relatively easily by Kellett. TCU applying some pressure right now on the Spartans as they're just trying to clear it and get it out of dangerous territory. Instead, another errant pass ends up in the feet of Gracie Bryant this time. Spartans give it away. And now TCU will have an opportunity to bring a lot of their players forward. Pena makes him. Player, coach. I mean, if you can give me a coach, maybe. I don't know. I really, it doesn't matter. Whoever you can get. Welcome back to Alumni Stadium as TCU through 45 minutes of play holding on to a 1-goal advantage over the Spartans, the number 4 seed in this year's tournament. Patrick Hartnett here with you on a chilly Friday from South Bend as we take a look at the man in charge of this TCU program, Eric Bell, in his 11th season with the Horned Frogs, and what a culture he's built here in recent years. You can see the numbers, they speak to himself. Big 12 Coach of the Year 2 seasons ago, won that award consecutively in 2020 and 2021. And he's led the Horned Frogs to 6 straight NCAA tournament appearances. This year they're making their 7th straight one. And looking to make a run after a year last year where they fell in the Sweet 16 to a really good Rutgers team. Kind of have that bad taste still in their mouth. And Eric Bell in this year convinced a lot of players to return for their 5th year using their COVID year. You look at players like Messiah Bright, Peyton Cruz, Shaylin Hubbard, and Megan Riley all opting for that 5th year and to come back and chase a potential NCAA tournament for Eric Bell. And on the other side, Michigan State down 1 at the halftime locker room, hoping for 45 minutes of pure physical soccer in an attempt to come back on TCU. We mentioned Michigan State, the higher seed in this contest, earned the number 4 seed after winning 17 games this season. They were 2nd place in the Big Ten tournament, 1st place in the Big Ten regular season, and just a spectacular year for head coach Jeff Osler in his 2nd season at the helm of the Spartans. Was named Coach of the Year and led a big Spartans team that had 3 other individual awards. You look at Lauren DeBow, Forward of the Year, Ruby Diodati, Defender of the Year, and then, of course, Lauren Kozel, unanimously selected as the Goalkeeper of the Year in the Big Ten Conference. As both teams take the field, and we're just about to go. 45 minutes, we'll see who wants it more, TCU and Michigan State. This is the 2nd round of the NCAA tournament. Lights are coming on and the temperatures keep dipping down. They're listed at 24 degrees right now, but wind chill making it about 10 degrees, and expect that to drop into the single digits by the time this one is all said and done. We're back. Messiah Bright kicks it off for the Horned Frogs. Michigan State scoreless on the day so far, but really started to pick up some momentum at the end of that first half. They actually won the first half possession battle, controlling possession 58% of the time. But in the biggest statistical category, goals, Michigan State so far, all their attempts have been fruitless, as Lauren Kellett really playing tremendously in net today for TCU. Has had to make 4 saves and has done so almost effortlessly, as she has for the most part all season long for the Horned Frogs. Really a steady presence in the net. And this is a Michigan State offense that for the most part this season has been pretty high powered. They've been averaging 2.14 goals per game, and they've been out shooting their opponents 364 to 187 coming into today's contest. So far today, they've gotten off 6 shots, 4 of them on goal. But TCU has made it count. There's a touch for DeBow. She has some space to run. Goes towards the center arc. Looks for a through ball to Cox, but it's intercepted by A.J. Hennessy. Beautiful play by Hennessy. Sarah White dishes it to Gaynor. That cross is sent over the head of Hennessy, but Michigan State retains possession. Beautiful move made. And now Michigan State enters the box. Ruby Diodati able to get by Cam Lancaster, but TCU regroups. Cox looks for DeBow. It's picked off by Olivia Hasler. Michigan State with some early pressure as Lauren Kellick came outside the goal and nearly gave it away, but Michigan State unable to formulate any shots there as it's finally cleared now by Brenna Brossam. Samantha White has it and she is charging. Hasler controls it for TCU, dishes it off to Megan Riley, and now TCU is able to work towards their offensive side of the field, but just like that, they'll give it back to the Spartans. Emerson Sargent has it. She's met by Hennessy. Michigan State applying the pressure so far in these first 4 minutes of the second half, but it's been that TCU back line who's thwarted every opportunity. Ball sent towards the box. Now in the direction of Justina Gaynor. She has it. Look to give it off to Jordan Wickus, but once again cleared by the Horned Frogs. Whistle comes, and now the Spartans got a free kick. Bria Scrotenboer looks to be the one taking the free kick. In the center of the field. Sent towards the box. It is sent way high. Sails out of bounds. Messiah Bright had it for a second, but lost it, and now it's regained by her back line. Lancaster tripped up there, foul against Ruby Diodati. Take another look at that last foul against Lancaster. Jordan Wick is tripped up there. Michigan State now has an opportunity. They're inside the box. It is sent in the direction of Jordan Wickus. Ball is still pinballing around, and finally it's cleared nicely by A.J. Hennessy. In the quarter, Diodati has it, sent towards the box in search of chaos. It's still there. Ball trickling around. Players end up on the floor. Both a Michigan State player and a TCU player ended up on the ground, but it looks like a foul will be against the Spartans, as Ali Pena was the Horned Frog defender who ended up down. As we take another look, Courtney Kaler working in the box, was able to fire off a shot that was blocked, and then the foul comes against Reagan Dalton. Michigan State again with the ball in their offensive territory. That's been the story of these first 9 minutes of second half play. Still no shots on net in this second half, though, for the Spartans. That back line from TCU withstanding every blow that the Spartans have sent their way. There's Brenna Brosam, had the game winner in the 82nd minute the other day in the first round matchup for TCU in a win over UTSA. Not to mention Brosam, really a key contributor to this back line for TCU today. As the ball is given away, Pena has it and dishes it on ahead to A.J. Hennessy. Hennessy being chased down by Sargent and gives the ball away. Whistle comes as Oli Pena on the opposite side of the field is down on the ground. Both teams will head towards their respective benches. And we'll get a check on Pena. Oli Pena, sophomore midfielder, coming from Irving, Texas. In her sophomore year, really has become a surefire starter in the midfield for this Horned Frogs women's soccer program. Has started all 23 matches, including this one. Yet to score a goal in the season, but has added 3 assists. And you hope she's okay. Really a key component of what TCU does, both offensively and defensively. We'll take a last look at what just happened. You see ball given away, and then Pena goes for it. Slide comes from Reagan Dalton, and Pena just got clipped a little bit by Dalton. No foul in the play, but Pena gets to her feet, looks to be okay. See the numbers from Pena, 3 assists on the year. So far today has played the entirety of this one. And she'll jog it out. Michigan State will return, and it looks like we're ready to go. Pena looks like she will stick in action right now. There you see Megan Riley of TCU. One of those players who's been a newcomer on this roster, transferred in from Oklahoma, the midfielder coming from Sugar Land, Texas. Played in 70 career matches for the Sooners and made 53 starts for them during her 4 seasons in Norman, Oklahoma. And this year for TCU, she's mainly been coming off the bench, but has started the previous 12 matches leading up to this one, got the start today as well. Listed as a midfielder, but a key contributor towards this defense that TCU has been leaning heavily on today. Bright, beautiful dish, and we'll see if TCU can move the ball into their offensive side of the field. Up ahead, Gracie Bryan has it. Bryan so far pretty quiet today, but is a first-team All-Big 12 selection as well at TCU boasts. She's the all-time program assist leader as well, as now Michigan State is on the move. They're inside the box. It is sent towards the middle. Ball is deflected away, and a hustling play from Oli Pena saves the day for TCU. So it looks like a corner kick will be coming up for Sparty. Diodati to take it. She has Lauren DeBow on her right. She'll give it off to DeBow. DeBow looking for something inside the box. Has a teammate, but it's cleared away this time by AJ Hennessy. Flag comes off. Excuse me. Offside call against Lauren DeBow. Battle for possession in the middle third. As TCU has it, lofted up ahead. Bright now has it, working up against Brianna Scrotenbohr. And now TCU has an opportunity to run. Ball is on the far side of the field. AJ Hennessy has it, deflected towards the box, headed away. And now an attempt to clear it from Justina Gaynor is blocked by Gracie Bryan, so TCU still has possession. There's a look at Oli Pena, who's been having a tremendous day for TCU. Plays in that midfield role, but will slide back and provide a lot of defensive help, and there's no doubt she's been doing that for the 60 minutes we've seen so far today. Corner kick is coming up from TCU. It's a high one sent towards the goalie, and she has it. Lauren Kozel gloves it easily. Some substitutions on both sides for Michigan State. Cameron Evans checks back in the game and takes out Lauren DeBow. Meanwhile, Michelle Slater will come back in, and AJ Hennessy will take a quick break. Here's Diodati charging against the defender, looks to find someone inside the box. It was deflected at first, but then eventually cleared by Megan Riley. So throw-in coming up for the Spartans. Beautiful defensive effort from Brenna Brasam. And now Brasam is tripped up. Whistle comes as Cameron Lancaster ends up on the turf. We'll take another look. You see Lancaster battling for possession with Bria Scrotenbohr. Scrotenbohr just got that arm around Lancaster, and the officials will tag her with the foul there. So free kick coming up for TCU. It looks like Gracie Bryan needs a little help getting her shoes tied. Unable to take those gloves off with how cold it is. That's what teammates are for, though. And TCU really, for these 62 minutes we've seen so far, playing a cohesive game, especially on the defensive side. As just about everyone has made some sort of defensive impact on this one. And now they have a chance offensively with a 1-goal lead to extend it. Peyton Cruz will take the free kick. She'll loft it towards the box in search of Messiah Bright, but just a little bit too much on that one. Double zero in the neon green. The goalkeeper of Michigan State, Lauren Kozel, hasn't had to face too many attacks so far from TCU this second half. TCU only 2 shots on goal today. They both came in the first half. On the other end, here's Michigan State. That one flown in towards the box, towards Cameron Evans, but goes by her. Take a look at the sideline there. Just about everyone on the bench covered in multiple layers, trying to make it through the cold weather while not being active on the field right now. Definitely a difficult task. Decent crowd here today at Alumni Stadium as well. Both Michigan State and TCU sending a bunch of friends, family, and friends to this one to support their teams, and they've gotten a good matchup so far for 63 minutes. Michigan State right now struggling to string a possession with some quality passes together, and haven't been able to fire off a shot in quite some time, despite all these chances they've had near the box. There's Justina Gaynor. Now in her junior season, was named All Big Ten first team as well, has been a starter in every single match, has added 4 goals and 2 assists on the year, but so far kept off the scoreboard. Samantha White looking to set the table. You can see Michigan State pushing just about their entire team past the midfield line. Nice move made on the far side of the field to get by a TCU defender. And now the ball goes across the goal line, and Michigan State will have a corner kick. We'll see what they can do here. Big opportunity coming up for the Spartans.
Corner kick for the Spartans, taking the kick, number 16, Ruby Diodati.
Diodati once again will take it. Diodati standing just about in that snowbank right now. Not much room in that corner to work with. She'll loft one pretty high in the air towards the center of the box. There's a head on it. It's still there. And finally, it's cleared nicely. TCU and Michigan State still dealing with the box. Ball inside the box, excuse me. And now it's lofted once more towards the box in search of Sargent. Kept in play. And despite all that, Michigan State unable to get a shot off. You see Messiah Bright, number 11 in white, also making an impact defensively. Typically spends most of her time on the offensive side of the field, but willing to do whatever she takes or whatever her team needs to clinch this one against Michigan State, holding on to that 1-0 lead. And Bright, an experienced player. She's been to an Elite 8. She's been to a Sweet 16. Hoping to go further than that this year with a TCU squad that has won 13 games on the season They've only lost 4 times. They have tied 5 times against some really good opponents, which honestly has made their record appear a little bit worse than it truly is, as they've shown that with no losses in Big 12 regular season conference play this year. Their only Big 12 loss coming in the tournament final against West Virginia. Beautiful sliding play made from Reagan Cox. And now Michigan State has an opportunity. Cox tries to feed it inside. Was looking for Cam Evans. And a whistle comes. Most likely will be against Gracie Bryan, who's talking to the official right now, trying to argue, saying it wasn't me, but we do have a free kick coming up. As we'll take a look at that last foul against Bryan. Or it looks like it'll actually be a handball against Bryan. So either way, here's the free kick. Diodati to take it. Sent towards the far side. And no one can chase it down in time. Michigan State really struggling to get a shot off despite all these offensive chances they've had in the second half. They do have plenty of time left. About 20 and a half minutes left in this one. Seven Castaigne loses possession. Castaigne, another one of those freshmen who's had a breakout season for TCU. Mainly been coming off the bench as of late, but played well enough to earn Big 12 All-Freshman team honors as well. Michigan State just outside the box. Shot is taken. It's blocked once again. Messiah Bright slides, and a whistle comes as Bria Scrotenbohr is the Spartan player down. You see Bright going up against Scrotenbohr. Goes for the slide tackle, just makes contact a little bit too early with Scrotenbohr. And now Scrotenbohr limping a little bit, but back on her feet, looks to be all right. So once more, Michigan State has a free kick. This one fairly straight and center away from the goal. Diodati will take it. She'll fire straight towards the net, and it gets sailed high. That wind playing a factor in those deep shots we've seen today. Really got to keep it low in order to minimize effects like that. Both 17s get tangled up in the center field line there. And the foul goes against Michigan State and Reagan Dalton. We'll take another look. Dalton just kind of goes over the back of Gracie Bryan right there, and that's enough for a foul. TCU so far in this second half not threatening too much offensively, as the goalkeeper, Kellett, has to run out and boot that one away just to keep Michigan State from having numbers against the back line of TCU. Battle on the far side of the field. It's won by Justina Gaynor. She looks to play up tempo, but her teammates weren't ready for it. TCU keeps it. They can see the snow just kind of blowing sideways at this point with how windy it is down there.
Re-entering the pitch for TCU, number 21, Cameron Lancaster, replacing number 7, Cascade.
Nice play made from Megan Riley. And now TCU wants to run. Contact is made between Bria Scrotenboer and Oli Pena. And Michigan State will take over. Ball is played towards the box. Kellett comes out to meet it. Messiah Bright with a nifty move to get by Scrotenboer, and now she's working one-on-one, or excuse me, we'll call it one-on-four against Michigan State, and a whistle comes, and the card comes out from the official. As this could be a key turning point in this contest. TCU hadn't been threatening much this second half, but Messiah Bright leads a charge by herself right there, and the yellow card comes up. As we take another look, Bright being held back there, and the card will be against Scrotenboer. Foul occurred outside the box, so a free kick will be coming just a few yards north of it. Scrotenboer will officially be tagged with the yellow card, tugging on the jersey of Bright, holding her back. And now Riley will take the free kick for TCU. Riley sends it high. So TCU with a good chance there, not able to make much of it, but they'll return to the defensive side of the ball. They have just under 15 minutes left. They're so far have been playing a stellar game defensively against Michigan State, despite Michigan State really controlling the possession battle for the majority of the second half. And this is a really high-powered Michigan State offense. They've only been shut out 3 times this year. 2 of them ties, and then 1 of them a loss at the hands of Arkansas. But besides that, they've really had their will with just about everyone they faced in the Big Ten. And they have a chance here. Here's Reagan Cox. She'll loft it towards the net. It hits off the top of the crossbar. Difficult angle for Cox. You see Reagan makes a run at it. Just kind of chips it up there. Gets over the hands of Kellett, but really difficult angle as Cox nearly had it. Reagan Cox, scoreless on the year so far, only has had an assist, but one of those defenders who's talented offensively as well. As there's some contact inside the box right now, and Michigan State will have another corner kick coming up, this time from the near side of the field to change things up. You see the wind whistling through the jerseys of those TCU defenders. As the wind picks up, so do the stakes in this contest. Just 13 minutes left to go in this second round NCAA tournament matchup. Ruby Diodani takes it, chips it, and it didn't have a chance for anybody. Stays on the right side of the goal. Ball flicked up ahead. Offside call will come. Didn't come at first, but Michigan State was looking for it, and they got it. As Skylar Heinrich just a little bit too quick on that one. Some contact made and a whistle comes. See another look at that one. Battle right there between Cameron Evans, and she just kind of shoved the TCU player there, and coaches aren't too thrilled with that call, but TCU will have it. Winner of this one set to take on the winner of Santa Clara and Notre Dame. A game that will be taking place tonight here at Alumni Stadium following the conclusion of this one. Should be a really interesting matchup between a Santa Clara team that was national champions 2 years ago as Lancaster plays it in, has it tipped around, still pinballing everywhere, and Michigan State tries to clear it, can't do it yet. And finally, they'll be able to do so. But that Santa Clara Notre Dame matchup should be a good one. Santa Clara NCAA champions 2 seasons ago, and then going up against a Notre Dame team that earned the #1 seed, and all the reason why. One of the best teams in the country, featuring some of the most dynamic players in the country like Corbin Albert. There should be a good one under the lights from Alumni Stadium today in this South Bend quadrant. And regardless of who wins that matchup, they'll have their hands full with the winner of this one. Both TCU and Michigan State have been leaving it all out on the field today, but TCU has just over 10 minutes to go, and they're starting to taste it a little bit, but they got to deal with a Spartan offense that is really starting to threatening once again. Samantha White is inside the box. She looks to dish it over. Wanted to get it to Abby Gardner, but Couldn't quite do that. Gardner has it. Shot is taken towards the left side of the post. Sliding shot is also taken, and it's blocked. What a save from Lauren Kellett. Had Cameron Evans leak out towards the back post. As we take another look, here's the shot taken by Jordan Wickus off the mark. It'll work as a pass intended for Cameron Evans, and Lauren Kellett once again steps up. And back in action as the shot is taken. Ricochets off the crossbar, once again off the crossbar. And Michigan State really starting to threaten right now, and this is when Lauren Kellett is at her best. We'll take a look at that last shot coming off the corner kick. Michigan State just about a foot away from the equalizer. And you can see the numbers on your screen. Michigan State 16 shots this afternoon. TCU only 5. But TCU holding on to that 1-goal lead. And the junior goalkeeper for the Horned Frogs, Lauren Kellett, she's made 6 saves this afternoon and really putting that first team all Big 12 selection on display right now. Not to mention Lauren Kellett only allowing .67 goals per game. She's the all-time program leader in that statistical category as it stands. And now TCU wants to add an insurance play. Beautiful save is made on the diving attempt from Kozel. But still, TCU is on the attack. Michigan State wants an offside call. They won't get it. It's chipped towards the box, headed away by Reagan Cox. And Michigan State able to escape that late push from TCU as Justina Gaynor is tripped up by Gracie Bryan. Michigan State will play up-tempo.
Re-entering the pitch for Texas Christian, number 11, Messiah Bright, replacing number 20.
So Messiah Bright took a quick breather, but will check back in from TCU. They want arguably their best player on the field for these last 7 minutes. And now AJ Hennessy able to turn it upfield. She's able to find Bright. Bright trying to go through the legs of Justina Gaynor, but Gaynor able to stop her. Ball lofted up ahead to Cameron Evans, but is knocked down in the wind before it's able to reach Evans, and we got a collision near the mid-circle. Cameron Evans and Olivia Hasler involved in that one. Foul will go against Evans and the Spartans as we'll take a quick look at that last foul. Both players end up on the turf, but it will be Cameron Evans who will be hit with the foul. Gracie Bryan tripped up. Free kick will be coming up for TCU. TCU able to kill some clock as well. Doesn't hurt them with a 1-goal lead and just over 5 minutes left. But Messiah Bright wants that 1-goal lead to be extended. She's being ambushed in the corner by 3 Michigan State defenders. Bright will have to throw in as some substitutions will be made. Oli Pena, who checked out earlier in this second half, will come back on for these final minutes for TCU. Crowded corner over there, and Lancaster and TCU are fine to work out of it as it's tipped out across the touchline once more, and TCU still has it, and they're doing a good job wasting this clock as well. Michigan State trying to turn it upfield, but it's blocked by Lancaster, and the referee says it's off Michigan State. The TCU with another throw-in. Gracie Bryant in the corner working up against Bria Scrotenboer. Battle for possession, and finally looks like Michigan State will have a throw-in themselves. So the Spartans have 3 minutes and 45 seconds. They need a goal in order to keep their season alive. Leading goal scorer for Michigan State, Lauren DeBoe, not on the field right now. But a whistle comes, and Michigan State has a free kick, and they want to play fast, but referee will halt play and pulls out a card. So that'll be a yellow card against Peyton Cruz. We'll take one more look. Things are starting to get chippy right now, final minutes in this NCAA tournament matchup. So it looks like a card will be against Peyton Cruz. She kind of got in the way of Michigan State as they tried to play up tempo. Referee didn't like that. So here's Michigan State. 3 minutes and 22 seconds on the game clock. They got their entire team minus Ruby Diodati, who will be taking the free kick, and their goalkeeper, who's on the opposite side of the field. Diodati flicks it towards the box. It's headed, shot is taken, and it's just high of that crossbar. Michigan State inches away from tying this one up on what was one of their best chances they've had in this second half. You can see Diodati just lofts it. Shot is taken by Scrotenboer, and she had Kellett frozen at first, but just off the mark with that one. Hustle play is won by Oli Pena, and that's huge for TCU. They're now on their offensive side of the field, but just like that, Pena will give it away, and Michigan State will regain possession. Cameron Lancaster has it on the far side of the field, wrapped up